There has never been a greater time than now to invest in the Metro Detroit area, and there is no other investment firm better qualified than Platinum Real Estate Holdings. With 40 years experience and over 1,000 homes sold, let Platinum Real Estate Holdings assist you with the purchase of a city-certified home of the highest quality, turnkey properties, screen renters, yielding instant cash flow. Well, what are you waiting for? Call or visit us online today. Welcome to the weekly recap for the week of May 30th. In today's recap, we're taking on rehab properties. In the first segment, we're bringing you the 3 tips for taking the emotion out of buying rehab deals. Secondly, the 3 common pitfalls to avoid during rehab projects. And lastly, the 3 things that make no money down real estate dangerous. This week's recap begins now. Segment number 1, 3 tips for taking out the emotion when buying rehab deals. If real estate is truly your passion, you'll spend countless hours daydreaming and fantasizing about the perfect rehab project. However, during the hustle and bustle of your life as a real estate investor, it's essential to trust your business processes to ensure that you only buy solid investment deals. Here are a few essential tips for reducing the role that emotion plays in choosing your real estate deals. Tip number 1, trust the numbers. You have investment analysis tools for a reason. While experience will certainly help you quickly validate deals, you cannot be 100% confident in the quality of a deal without running the numbers through a formal tool, especially for beginners. Tip number 2, establish firm criteria for go, no-go areas and neighborhoods. Every market has areas and neighborhoods that make more or less sense for different types of investing. When establishing your rehab strategy, it's essential to identify the neighborhoods and areas that meet your project criteria before looking at any live deals. You should know what geographic boundaries will be acceptable when looking into potential projects. Once you have identified towns and neighborhoods that meet your investment criteria, assign a strict no-go classification to those that do not. Even if you run all the numbers and it looks like a good deal, properties with the no-go classification should absolutely not be taken on. Also, do not be shy on communicating your no-go classification with wholesalers and motivated sellers. Nobody likes others wasting their time. When sharing your criteria, you do not need to be rude. Simply state that your company does not invest in these specific areas at this time. In the end, honesty is the best policy. Stay out of areas that do not fit your criteria, and do not let the emotion of an exciting deal break your process. And lastly, don't speculate. Avoid speculating in areas that do not have true historical data to warrant solid investments. Put more simply, rely only on actual figures and stick with your no-go criteria until historical data warrants it applicable to consider otherwise. Bottom line, when dealing with the emotions of buying a rehab property, step back and call upon your patience. The excitement you feel will wear off quickly if you invest in a losing property. Don't force it. Deals will come. The excitement of purchasing an exciting prospect is nothing compared to the jubilation of cashing out on a sound, solid investment. How do you avoid emotion-driven decisions when it comes to real estate? Let us know in the comments below. Topic number 2, 3 common pitfalls to avoid during your rehab projects. Let's face it, when under the pressure of an active rehab project, it's natural to seek out cost-cutting measures to stay within your budget. However, you must tread lightly when seeking creative ways to cut rehab costs. Investors are often tempted to cut corners to save every penny and increase their chances of completing a successful rehab. Pitfall number 1, hiring uninsured contractors. The advice, don't do it. You should make liability insurance a requirement for any contractor who works on your properties. There is no compromising here. Liability insurance protects your business in the unfortunate event that a contractor gets injured while working on your property. Starting today, make the commitment to screen all contractors to absolutely have proper insurance. Pitfall number 2, paying in cash. The habit of paying workers in cash or under the table. This is a pitfall that is way too common among newer investors. Imagine you are in the midst of obtaining contractor bids, and you encounter a contractor who is willing to do the work at a steep discount. The contractor only has one stipulation: you agree to pay cash. I'm not talking about cash as opposed to a credit card. I'm talking about cold, hard 10s, 20s, and 50s, physical cash. The truth is that it makes a huge difference whether you pay your workers on or off the books. The major problem with paying in cash is that there's no paper trail to prove what the money was used for. If you were audited, the only thing the IRS would see is a cash withdrawal. The IRS will require that you treat it as a taxable distribution from your investment business. Pitfall number 3, skipping out on permits. Don't do it. One of the most amateur mistakes newbie investors often make is trying to skip out on required building permits. You will learn very quickly not to ignore the necessity of obtaining permits for your rehab projects. Here are some key reasons why you should always obtain the necessary permits for all your rehab work. Number 1, get on the good side of the town inspector, which pays dividends down the road. Not only will the inspector offer whatever leniency possible during his inspections, he'll also be prepared to help you out on future rehab projects. Number 2, be sure your job's done right. There's a good chance that your end buyer will perform a home inspection before closing on the property. The eventual home inspector will have a record of all the permits pulled and the resulting inspections. If he sees that the rehab has been done in accordance with the local building code, the number of potential issues that may come up is limited. Think of permits and building inspections as checking your work through the project. Number 3, permits are not that expensive. Permits are rarely more than $100 to $200. Consider this an insurance cost to avoid any issues with the eventual home inspection. If you find yourself stressing over a $100 permit for your rehab, you need to reassess whether you can handle the game of rehabbing houses. Bottom line, the ultimate goal is to become a legitimate investor, running a legitimate business and following the rules. Doing so will put you on the fast path to legitimacy and make you proud of the business you built. What would you add to this list? Leave your comments below. And now for the last topic, the 3 things that make no money down real estate dangerous. The real question is no money down a safe way to invest in real estate? The question comes up regularly, and the answer's tricky. The common wisdom is that there are 2 camps: those who unequivocally believe no money down is nonsense, and those who swear by it and say it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Well, the answer, as you can imagine, is somewhere in the middle. No money down could be very dangerous, but it could be very advantageous. Let's talk about it. Here are the 3 things that we should evaluate. Number 1, the quality of the property and if it's being owner financed. Number 2 is cash flow, and number 3 is equity. Let's first look to find out quality of asset and if it's owner finance and what you should look for. A lot of times, no money down is accomplished, at least in part, by means of the owner involving himself or herself in the financing of the property. While this is not always true, a fair number of times the owner is willing to do this because he's unable to sell for all cash. And in order to move the property, the owner facilitates a portion or all of the financing. In this case, you have to ask yourself, why was the property unable to sell for cash? Could it be that there's something wrong with the way the marketplace perceives this asset? Again, this is not always the case, but if this is how you are looking to achieve a no money down deal, be careful and underwrite the deal well. The second thing and third thing should be combined is insufficient cash flow and what the equity is like for the property. In this scenario, cash flow can be bought or created. And if you know what you're doing in a no money down deal, this could be advantageous to go no money down. The bottom line for this is understand that no money down is a mode of acquisition, nothing more. If you start out with a bad deal, the fact that you finance 100% of it won't make it any better. You've got to start with a good deal in the first place. Investors, what are your thoughts on the risk of no money down real estate? Is this a route that you'd be willing to take? Leave your comments below. Well, That's this week's recap. Did you find this recap helpful? If so, say so in the comments below. Thank you for listening and have a great day. This has been your weekly real estate investment news recap. Did you find this recap helpful? Please like or comment below this video to enter to win a free copy of our ebook, The Ultimate Real Estate Guide for Residential Real Estate Investments. You can also subscribe to our channel or go to our website to receive the latest in real estate news. Our website also affords you the opportunity to view our latest turnkey properties.